Advantages in Survivor are becoming much more prominent within each new season. Some of these advantages, such as the hidden immunity idol, have dated back as far as season 11, whilst new advantages and ideas are being released in almost every modern Survivor season. This is Analytical Strategy, and today I'm going to be discussing 3 new moves that I've thought of using advantages that currently exist in today's game. It is crazy to think there are still moves out there that we have yet to see over 40 seasons of the show, but with new twists and advantages constantly being introduced, new strategies must evolve with the game in order to get your way to get to that final tribal council. The evolution of strategy has been a phenomenal journey from season 1 all the way to season 40, and it will be interesting to see how it continues to evolve over time. Without further ado, let's look into these new 3 Survivor strategies. So the first strategy I've come up with is using the legacy advantage if you are at the bottom and in jeopardy of going home to get back into the mix of the game. The legacy advantage has only appeared 3 times so far in Survivor. Firstly within Survivor Millennials vs Gen X, where it could only be used on day 36 of the game. It was later appeared in Survivor Game Changers and Ghost Island, where it could be played at the merge episode or again on day 36. As this advantage is generally found on day 1 of the game during the marooning, or in Jacob's case, the first person to go to Ghost Island, it is a very long-term advantage that you may never get the chance to play if you do not make it that far in the game. Due to this, you could definitely use it as a tool if you're on the bottom of your tribe, to potentially sneak through a couple of votes or possibly even put yourself back into a dominant alliance. One thing we have seen many castaways do is say, hey, look, I've got an idol, and if you don't vote me out, I will give this to you after Tribal Council. This strategy has failed many times, as why would you give the idol away after a Tribal Council instead of just playing it yourself? It is a very easy strategy to see through, and shows that that person is lying about the idol being legitimate. However, using the same strategy with the legacy advantage does change things, as you can show them the piece of parchment that it will be willed to somebody after you are voted out of the game. You can go up to that castaway and say, look, I've got the legacy advantage. You show them the advantage and you say, if you vote me out of the game, there is no chance I'm going to will this to you, and it will be in another person's hands in the game. But if you keep me in the game, I will give you this advantage after Tribal Council. Not only does it give the person incentive to keep you in the game, but it's also like a threat that says, if you vote me out, I will vastly improve someone else's game that isn't yours. For example, when Sierra was in trouble, she told Sarah about the legacy advantage to try and build trust with her and to align with her further, when really it was just giving Sarah incentive to vote her out to obtain possession of that advantage. If Sierra went to an alternate member of the game and said, look, I have this advantage, and if you vote me out you will not receive it but someone else will, but if you keep me in the game this advantage is all yours. It is a huge incentive to keep her in the game for another vote. It's not like a flawed argument such as having that hidden immunity idol that you can play then and there at that tribal council. You can only use this advantage later down the track. So being able to almost turn it into an immunity for one tribal council before handing it over is definitely a viable strategy. Plus, you could always just hold on to it after that tribal if you remain in the game anyway. One thing we all know about Survivor, our words are not binding. So another strategy I've thought of is attempting to join an opposing alliance once a vote advantage has been played. So this can include a vote steal, an extra vote, or a vote block, as we have seen these advantages in previous seasons. Whilst in the majority of cases these advantages have been played unsuccessfully, if alliances are clear-cut, they are an extremely easy advantage to use, as seen within the 4 vs 4 split in Island of the Idols, prior to Jason getting voted out after Elaine blocking his vote. So if you are in an obvious minority after say a vote block has been played, pitching the idea to join the majority alliance and be an extra number for them may just be enough to keep you in the game for that vote, and potentially longer down the line as well. So let's use this specific tribal in Island of the Idols as an example of how this could work. So there was Jason, Tommy, Lauren and Dan, and they went into this tribal as a group of 4, against Elaine, Aaron, Missy and Elizabeth, also as a group of 4. So this was looking likely to go down to rocks to the former group, not knowing about Elaine's advantage, which they were absolutely prepared to do. So as soon as Elaine blocked Jason's vote, each member of that group of 4 automatically became vulnerable to going home. We could have easily seen Tommy go home in this episode, and he would have had no chance to win the game. Due to this, their strategy was to target Elaine, to go and try to appeal to Aaron and Missy to get her out, which if it really was a 4 vs 4 split and they truly believed that, it isn't an appealing offer to those members, as after that tribal they would automatically be on the bottom of the tribe. In Survivor, sometimes it has to come down to every man for themselves, and you have to do what you need to do to stay alive in the game. So to save himself, one thing Jason could have done as soon as that advantage was played against him could have been, look, I will join you guys as a strong 5, and take out any of Tommy, Dan or Lauren, whichever one you want gone, I will join you and make it happen. You really need to be able to appeal to the people with the clear majority to stay in the game sometimes, and although it may be a bit harsh to the other people in your alliance at that point in the game, that may have just been the very difference between staying or going for someone like Jason at that very tribal. So the final strategy I've come up with is telling castaways fake idol locations after playing an idol at a tribal council. So within Modern Survivor, multiple idols are quite often found by the same people, as the theme of where they are located is generally consistent throughout the season. This may be at the same location at each beach, or if they are hidden via the same method when they are replanted in the game. Due to this, to throw everyone else off the scent whilst also appearing to remain trustworthy, you can give them a detailed explanation of how the idol was hidden, which can cause them to look in alternate locations to where it is likely to be replanted. So obviously don't be like Judd saying the idol is most definitely on the ground and then go around looking in trees, but give them actual detail about the specifics of how the idol was found when you initially found it. Fictional specifics of course, but detail is key in this move. When contestants are asked where they found the idol in recent seasons, they might let you know where it actually was, or they might say, hey, I can't remember, or I don't know, to defer the conversation altogether, which is a completely fine strategy. But using an alternate theme of idol locations from a previous season may give you a better opportunity to find the idol once it has been replanted in the game. So let's use Millennials vs Gen X and David vs Goliath idol themes as examples of how this could work. The tribal idols in Millennials vs Gen X were hidden in coconuts or shells with a symbol of the tribe flag on them to symbolise that an idol was inside. David was able to again find the second idol, as he had the advantage of knowing what to look for when it was replanted in the game. In David vs Goliath, the original idols were connected to a piece of string resembling the tribe colours. So let's for argument's sake say Millennials vs Gen X was a season that occurred after David vs Goliath. So David on the Gen X tribe played his idol on Jessica, so then it was common knowledge that this idol would be replanted in the game, and due to this the search began. If David was asked where he found the original idol, rather than deferring the conversation, he could say the original one was attached to a purple piece of string wrapped around a tree branch. This way the other castaways may be looking in trees to find that piece of string, when all along David knew it was highly likely to be within a shell or a coconut, which can give him an even further upper hand in finding it as well. Now I would only ever do this strategy if someone specifically asked you where you found the idol. Again, don't do a Judd and just go around and tell everyone the opposite out of the blue, but casually state where it was in conversation if asked. It may just buy you some more time to find the other one later down the track, but you can still appear trustworthy, providing specifics that sound completely legitimate. But come on production, let's try and keep it fair for future seasons, and mix up idol locations and themes to give everyone a fair chance moving forward. So there you have it, these are 3 new moves I have thought of that could be used in correlation with current advantages in Survivor. What do you think? What moves have you thought of? Let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more unique strategies coming in future videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Analytical Strategy. We are signing out once again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.